Sam the DM. Tell us what you love about a TV show that's animated on HBO, DC property, My Adventures with Superman, voiced Clark Kent there, voiced by Jack Quaid from The Boys, I know, but I have only seen the pilot. I'll have my reaction. I want to hear from you, sir.
Well, first of all, Superman's my favorite comic book character, and I truly believe the greatest comic book character ever conceived. And so as a diehard fan of Kal-El, the last son of Krypton, I was very skeptical and reserved going into this cartoon show. I remember Superman the Animated Series from Warner Brothers when I was a kid, which was a wonderful take on the character.
Absolutely.
The old
So
Christopher Reeves movies, great, but I was not personally a fan of the Snyderverse, personally.
A little dark.
Yes. For me, it's a little dark for a character as inherently hopeful and, let's face it, whimsical as Superman is, I believe, supposed to be. You got me going on this now. I'm never ever going to stop.
That's why we're here, dude. This is why we're here.
So what My Adventures with Superman is just in my opinion, a great cartoon show. It is everything a Superman cartoon show should be, which is light and hopeful, but there are moments of danger. There's action. Clark is running around, throwing cars and catching airplanes and stuff like he always does. But this is a sort of modern reimagining of how this all goes. So in this version, Clark and Lois and Jimmy Olsen are all interns at the Daily Planet. So they are not reporters. They do not have any official assignments. They're just interns that are supposed to bring coffee and make copies. But Lois is, of course, incredibly ambitious, wants to get out there, wants to get the story. And so, hijinks ensue. It's got kind of a Scooby-Doo vibe a little bit going in through the first episodes because you got these precocious young interns chasing down stories. But the story always turns out to be a giant robot attack or like mutants with crazy powers. And so, and over the course of it, you get to explore Clark's like backstory, examine his relationship with his parents, his sense of like alienation from finding out, he's not of this world.
Like much later than usual, I feel like he doesn't really know. I feel like that was the pilot a little bit. Like it seemed like his parents didn't explain to him as much about who he is.
They do have this little flashback when he's a kid. He finds his parents show him this crazy spacecraft that they were never able to get into that fell when they found him. And he goes there and like the security system acts up and is like trying to bring him in, but his parents almost get hurt. So he's like, never again. I'm your son, never. So there is this rejection of his Kryptonian heritage that he's struggling with here. So it's kind of like Superman Year One, Oh, yeah. It's very big in the origin story. It's very big in, approaching all these characters from.
There it is. We just had a winner. Ryan R. in Nebraska just won that. We got to send it to him.
That's a great book.
Incredible.
So have you read that?
I have not.
Okay.
I'm gonna go on.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that
for sure.
My Adventures with Superman.
Yeah.
I want you to wrap up. Final thoughts and a rating on the 4.0 scale.
They do a great job of reflecting these established characters in sort of modernist terms. You got like tech bro financiers and stuff instead of like the old dusty, corporate CEO. There's a lot of great mad scientists. There's interesting powers, and Superman's flying around, kicking ass all over the place. The love story between Lois and Clark is very adorable, and Jimmy's hilarious. I'd give it a what's the rating?
4.0 scale, like a GPA.
I'd give it a
4.0 is perfect. 0.0 is unwatchable
for sure. I'd give it like a 3.8 at the very least.
Woo!
At the very least, I could have done with more references to the Superman canon in general.
Okay,
but
that's what I was going to ask. We got some classic villains here. We got our Luthor.
We're looking at Luthor doesn't really show up as a proper threat in what I've seen so far. I haven't watched absolutely all of it. The second season came out not too long ago.
Okay.
Wow.
But you got Parasite. You got Deathstroke.
Oh, nice.
You got some.
So a little more serious on the villain side.
A little bit.
Okay.
But Amanda Waller's in there, General Lane.
Yeah.
So you definitely have some folks, but it's not the deep dive into the canon that I was hoping to see.
Mr. Mitzelplick.
Yeah,
Pittelwick.
No fifth dimensional
Mitzelplick.
yet. But I give it like a 3.7, 3.8. It's a lot of fun.
And clearly Jimmy Olsen dies in this episode.
just
Can't just
hanging
ride
onto the
Superman's
knee.
leg.
Like
Hanging onto the
nice
knee.
firm grip
Yeah.
on the kneecap.
Poor
All right,
bastard.
I watched the pilot. Did you watch any, Scott?
I have not watched it yet. I'm a little more excited. I mean,
It's a good time.
I
As a
hadn't
diehard
heard much
Superman
about
fan, I enjoy it.
All right, Die Hard.
Yeah, you don't hear a lot of buzz, right? No one's talking about
no
it.
one's- it might be a
I mean,
late
to be
bloomer.
on season 2 and to
Yeah.
hear almost nothing about it.
For sure.
And Jack Quaid in there. Superman's my OG guy. Definitely like the inspiration for a while of superheroes. My
Mhm.
first favorite. And like everything that comes out, I watch. And I've had problems with a lot of the stuff that's come out. Obviously, you've already said most of it. This show, I'm still not quite convinced. I watched
Sure.
I watched the pilot, and it's just a lot different. It's very
Yes.
it's like very soft. It's like it's not even as hard as like the Supergirl TV show with Melissa Benoist. Like
That's very true.
like it's just very, and like
It's sunshine and rainbows
it
with
is. It
occasional
does
peril.
look
and,
very
and
happy.
I got like really upset with like a couple little things. Like he wakes up and he's like, "Oh, it's a pilot, right?" So he's
Yeah.
like, "I got to go into work, the internship," and he goes to hit his alarm clock and he breaks it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Okay, that's cute for some new fan that doesn't really know stuff." Like,
Yeah, for sure.
this guy is. I'm like, I was thinking about like, how is he hugging his friends? How is he gonna kiss
Yeah.
a girl? Like he can't. Like this is
Well,
gonna
yeah,
be Homelander.
those-
in
Like
2
you're old
seconds.
enough to have an internship, but you're not quite sure about your strength level yet.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
flew, and he's like, "How am I doing this?" I'm like, "What do you mean?"
Those kinds of nuances
Yeah.
are not explored, certainly, and it is definitely more kid friendly.
Keep it moving
Okay.
too,
For sure.
and shorter episodes, and like what the Villinger mentioned, and like even the title. There's like a he's fighting like some Superman-looking creature with like an S on its chest. I don't even know who it was. I was like,
Is
it
it like a Bizarro or?
was a woman. It was like
I haven't seen Bizarro or Zod yet.
Okay, so maybe.
but yeah.
So this is leaning more towards Teen Titans Go than Teen Titans.
It's not that silly.
It's
Okay.
more serious and anime than that. Like it's like
Yeah, it's
I feel
also
the
very anime inspired. The art
Yes.
style
It
is
looks
incredible.
beautiful.
Yeah. And his powers seemed a little strange in the first one. It was like he levels up. It seems like
There is
it's like a
some
Goku. It's like Super
exploration.
Saiyan.
Yeah, there is a mechanic where in like desperate times he gets like a surge of power from the spaceship buried under his parents' farm, and so they are using this sort of metaphor for him. They're using that as a metaphor for him, like rejecting or embracing his Kryptonian heritage.
Okay.
You know,
Which
it's like,
does fall in line. Like that is
Yes.
how it goes.
Yes.
If he becomes full Kal-El, he kind of leaves his human heritage behind, and it's like a memory wipe. Even
Yeah.
like you could become like a bad Superman,
uh,
black
I-
suit.
And I think it's important to remember that anytime a group of nerds has a conversation like this, what it basically comes down to, this is new and it's different. We don't like new and different unless it proves itself.
Yeah.
And so this won't be for everyone. It is for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fair.
I'm
fair.
gonna check
We
it
call
out
that
for
a
sure.
fair share, and I'm gonna finish the first season.